God, I've done it. I have done it. We are back, finally, getting ready for some more in-depth information so that you guys can be successful. And as I'm trying to be successful, I will tell you, in the past, ever since I had these previous videos, I have gone through transitions, seasons of discovery, seasons of work, seasons of an adjusted season where you're attacked from all different ways. It's crazy, guys. I mean, at the same time, life is meant to happen to you, but man, just adjusting your lifestyle in crazy ways just to make sure that all of your obligations get taken care of. That's one thing, including setting up the area. Welcome. Look at that. The Jesus picture. That's right. We're starting from the very beginning, and as I've gone through these recent journey of studying and learning and trying to understand how I can be successful and have a high impact in my environment while also fulfilling the needs and the requirements of my life. It has been a journey. So I'm starting off with something that really hit me more recently. And we're starting off with understanding your opposition, getting right into it, the guide to success here. So understanding the opposition, understanding your opposition, your ops. Who are they? Where are they at? Some of them aren't real. Some of them are yourself. You got to start to identify these things now so that you're able to really put a thought process behind attacking them, and also understanding their ulterior motives, because as soon as you start to understand your enemy's motives and what they're trying to get at from you, the sooner that you start to fight and plot against their next plan, right? You're focusing on anxiety. Anxiety's biggest plan is to make you sit there, wallow in pain, focus on retreating and focusing into comfort. Okay, well, if I let that happen, that's the result. Let me start to fight against it. That's the thought process that I want to help you with today. We're going in through 3 specific keys on identifying those forces. Number 1, you got the spiritual battles, right? Spiritual battles, for me, you're going to recognize those internal structures. You're going to recognize those fears. You're going to focus on that negative thinking and when it happens consistently. For me, for example, it happened in the mornings. I hated the mornings. I vilified the mornings. However, more recently, due to my lifestyle changes and the requirements from family, requirements from those around me, I've had to consistently get up at that 4:40 point. And I figured out how, I asked ChatGPT, I also looked at YouTube videos, how do I get used to this, man? I am so bad at getting up, but it's been 3 months now that I've been getting up on the weekdays every day around 4:40, and I'm proud to say that now I'm a proud member of the Breakfast Club, working out in the morning and then starting in the afternoon. How do I get there? Understanding those formidable opponents that you face day to day, right? What are your own one-armed mans? What are your struggles? What are you dealing with behind the smile? Right? Focusing on writing that down and identifying it. Number 2, hitting into the physical battles. The real people who are right in front of you. Or your health. Is it a physical health issue? Is it a financial constraint? Is it a physical fatigue? Are you tired? Are you overstressed? There's answers for why you start to notice it. Some things become manageable and then you just carry them like weight. However, you need to identify them and figure out how you can treat that root issue versus treating the symptom. More coffee is not going to help you get better sleep, right? There's those things we have to worry about on the physical side. And lastly, environmental. On the environmental side, you got to be able to assess your environment, assess your external environment, assess your social environment, and make those key distinctions of who is dragging me where. I have a goal at the beginning of the day. Am I getting derailed left or right in any way? And lastly, from the workplace dynamics, how that hinders your progress. What things are you tolerating in your life right now that you think are just the norm? And you think, if I'm going to identify some things that I should improve on, can these things be it? That example being that coworker that's always inviting you to happy hour right after work, and you're like, man, I can start to get used to this. I can start to feel this, and start to have these social interactions that might give me this dopamine. And then you realize that That alcohol additionally is making it harder for you to sleep by the time you hit the evening. You get worse rest. You have to increase your coffee. You then are looking for dopamine, which is happy hour all over again. That's number one, identifying those forces that are against you. Most people don't have that type of insight on themselves, nor do people think about it on a daily basis. And that's the first mistake. Because in Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, it starts to talk about hypnotic rhythm. The hypnotic rhythm is all the forces around you are slowly going to sway you into the path of either success or into the path of least resistance. And that path could lead you down a slippery slope to where eventually you're waking up, you're not where you want to be, you have too much month at the end of your money, and you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow. Some of those things can be avoided. I'm trying to teach you, and you've seen in these previous videos, that a walk around the block every day instead of a Hershey bar is going to make a big change. And so that's what this is all about. At the very beginning, on identifying those forces. Analyzing their tactics. This is the second part as we're focusing on your opposition. First off, in regards to the opposition, you got to realize that their main goal is going to be to distract you first. Distractions. Things that try to derail you from your current thought process. Those things are going to start coming at you quickly, and sometimes you just embrace them. You don't even know anymore. I mean, our body starts to adapt and respond accordingly. So identifying those distractions first is going to start to give you some stillness, some silence, your ability to then be creative, and they're allowing you to unlock your ability to become creative, and find more deep work. In the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, simply talking about those distractions. You're not going to go deep within the ocean. Instead, you'll stick to the shallows because so often you'll be switched in different directions. You got to avoid that. And so think about the distractions in your life. Start writing those down next. And that way, you'll start to say, what do I do with those distractions, right? Secondly, time management challenges. Realize how poor time management and procrastination are going to affect your life. I mean, overall, you have to evaluate your daily routine and put it into blocks, right? So many people talk about blocks. Me personally, I don't have specific guided blocks, but I have gotten to a point where I need to be very strict with my time first, and then I'll slowly start to give myself a little leeway and keep it right here, right in between a controlled and intentional state. How do I do that? You got to start off while the emotion is hot right now, right? Start off while the emotion is hot. Give yourself some of these distractions and say, man, is this, as you're looking at this list already, you have to identify, is this who you want to be, right? Is this identify as the person that you want to become and that you want to exemplify, right? So as we're going into these time management challenges, start really distinct, but don't go crazy. Right? We can start off with, hey, at dinner, I'm eating dinner at 8 p.m. Guaranteed, I'm going to be laying in bed at 9. Right? Just laying in bed. You can start off there. Right? Then, as you're continuing moving forward, I'm in bed at 9 every day, and my phone is put away. I'm in bed. I'm laying there. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Give it 5 days. Boom. It still sucks. It sucks a little less. Give it 10 days. I'm talking about the repetition. Why? Because it's going to train that self-discipline and that little voice that is telling you to get up and go watch Netflix because you have time. And I'll guarantee you right now, if you're watching this video, you already felt like you're always in a rush. So let's start there. Start at number 1. Give yourself a shot. If you comment on some other things that you think you can try to, and that you've been trying to get down, and then we can work on it. The goal is to be open-ended, right? Number 3, the energy drainers. The energy drainers for me are the activities that ruin your motivation and ruin your energy level. So think about those things that are ruining your energy level. You do them and you're like, man, I'm tired now. Okay, I'm ready to go to bed, right? The things that draw your attention for long periods of time, and then all of a sudden you don't have an attention span for whenever you need to be present for your family. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Have a focus on that, so that you can then put it down and stay intentional. I'm not talking about a high level of intentionality where you're in a military state. I would applaud it if so. But I will say you have to have a consistent upgraded bandwidth of intentionality. And I'm talking intentionality is the same thing as actual self-awareness, right? I am here, I'm breathing, I can feel my toes, I can feel my hands. Okay, let me make a decision. Do I really want to watch TV? Like, I talk to myself like that a lot, just to help me process and make sure that I know, is this helping me get to where I want to get to? And yes, it'll ruin video games for you at times. Yes, it'll ruin TV. Yes, you'll be doing less and less of the usual stuff that was really entertaining for you. However, you're delaying instant gratification. And that's what those energy drainers are. And so whether it's watching TV, whether it's lust, whether you're focusing on different types of gaming, you name it, all that. I'm not vilifying it, but at the same time, I am saying, is it leading you to your goals? That is my goal, to remind you of that. So number 3, your counter strategies, right? I've given you some throughout this time already. We're going to talk about that. You can look back at my videos. I talk to you all about the 5 pieces of life puzzle and the key to success. But here, we're going into the focus and mindfulness side, right? I want you to cultivate the focus and mindfulness, the self-awareness, and the intentionality that you need in order to be successful. If you don't know how, ChatGPT is free. Ask the question, how in my life do I focus on and have mindfulness if I am 300 pounds and I don't know what I'm doing? How, if I'm in a third world country, can I do this, but I don't have any means of success and I don't know where I'm going? You have to start being direct and have more goals. And ChatGPT, I cannot tell you, it helps people immensely, and still only 2% of the world uses it. Number 2, structured time management. I gave you an example there. Implement those strategies. I'm telling you, as you continue to focus on clear and concise goals and prioritize yourself alongside your family, alongside your responsibilities, anytime you have free time, prioritize yourself in a way that's not, let me just chill. You will start to see a big change in your life. And that change is not going to happen instantaneously. But I will say you'll be just a little bit more proud of yourself that day. And that starts a snowball effect. And then you'll fail. You'll give yourself some grace. You do it again. You continue. As long as you're on this train, as long as you're moving forward, give yourself that grace. Number 3, energy management. In energy management, you're just protecting the energy that you have throughout every single day, right? You know you only have the bandwidth for a certain amount of things. So 1, you can't overload yourself, and 2, you can't push yourself into a state of, I just want to relax, I just want to stop. You have to start training yourself instead to think, this is what's required of me. Let me do this. Let me pre-manage my energy. And then after that, here's what I have left. What do I think I can do with this? And if you practice that thought process every single day, into the next day, you're going to say, I have about 35%. I know I'm going to start giving myself my intentionality to my family. Let me really focus on my family right now. I know that they'd appreciate it. And then if I have anything left, I'm going to focus on trying to be intentional and sleeping. I want to feel good tomorrow. That's the key. Versus, oh man, I just had such a long day. It was boring. It was terrible. I didn't get anywhere, etc. No, of course you didn't get anywhere. You were tired. You were drinking two grande pikes from Starbucks for, and by the way, it's like $10 that you already spent, and then you're talking about not spending money. The world wants what you have. It wants your attention and your disposable income. I'm telling you, this is how you start fighting back. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that I can give you more information, wisdom, stuff that I've used that's going to help me build. Me personally, I am working on my personal fitness. I even have my own coach, and I also focusing on my body, my physical health. And right now, I will say we are killing it in my companies, and I'm trying to move forward quickly with my opportunities. But I will say, I still stay intentional when I go home. I'm still just like the other guy, trying to make sure that all my house chores are done, all my clothes are folded, all my stuff is done, my dog's taken care of, my family is good. You name it. I have the same stuff going on, except you know what? I've already been through the anxieties and the traumas of all this stuff hitting me and me not getting anywhere, and I was sick of it. So I said, I'm going to make sure that I can lift heavier weight. I'm going to make sure that I can keep a 40-pound plate vest of responsibility on my chest, and I won't be phased. But that takes years, man. So give yourself some grace, and hopefully we'll be able to meet on the next video and you're just a little bit better. Best of luck to you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.